welcome to another song title challenge. This is where you get inside the mind of a hit songwriter. That hit songwriter is my good friend and co-host, Mr. Brent Baxter.
Hello.
And this is a fun, creative exercise where you send in the song titles, and Brent, and sometimes with a little help from me, we'll figure out 4 or 5 different conceptual approaches to writing the lyric for that song title. This is really good for songwriters, a fun, creative exercise, because I think most people just sort of instinctively go with the first idea that they have. Mm-hmm. And when you take 15 minutes to just try to work around it and find some different ways to do it, you find some cool twists maybe to what would be normally a boring song title. You can all of a sudden make it exciting.
We try.
So this is 100% your song. This is not a co-write in any way, shape, or form. It's just a fun little exercise. Brent, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah. The point of this is to help teach you how to think, to realize that you can go more deeply into these ideas than maybe the first blush. And it's fun for me. It's a creative exercise, helps keep me sharp, and hopefully it'll give you value on your song. And also, even if you're listening and this is not your song that we do today, to realize, oh, there's more to it. We can do more.
Yeah, you can lift a little heavier weight, man.
Exactly.
You can do a little bit more work on it. So if you have a song title that you'd like us to consider for the next episode of Song Title Challenge, send it in to info@daredevilproduction.com. Production is singular. There is no S. info@daredevilproduction.com. And in the subject line, put Song Title Challenge, and it'll get into the right folder. And we just sort of go through a list of titles that come in and considered, and I picked them. Right. By the way, I spring them live on the air with Brent, so he doesn't know what I'm about to tell him.
No, I don't.
And then and we just go from there. So, are you ready?
No, never am.
All right, so this song title comes from DV Gadd, like Delta Victor, DV Gadd, Gadd. And the song title is Supermodel.
Supermodel, all right. Okay, first of all, DV Gadd, that almost sounds like an alternate tuning.
It sounds like a famous songwriter name.
If he has kids, he'd be Dat Gadd. That is a tuning. Yeah, I'm a lyricist, but I've been around guitar too.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I'm so stalling. So, all right, Supermodel. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at this as you bring it into a co-write with me, and we're trying to write a hit country song because that's what I know best, right, as a lyricist, and so that's where I can bring the most value, but hopefully this will work for whatever.
But yeah, the exercise, the thought process in this goes for any lyric,
right?
Man. Could be rap, could be rock, could be pop. It's just like, how can you twist something up and really be able to get people to go, what? Like,
yes, exactly. So, okay, supermodel. So the first thing you think of is, she's a supermodel or you're a supermodel kind of thing.
Right.
So just spitballing, you could do I know you don't feel good about your body. Sometimes you don't feel pretty enough. You get spent all that time with makeup, all that stuff. But to me, dang, you wake up in the morning, you're a supermodel.
Right.
Except you're one I put under the covers instead of on the cover.
Boom! Oh, that just happened.
So that, yeah, I don't know. So this is kind of where you'd expect it to go. Or just a lusty song. She's a supermodel. She's, like she stepped out of a magazine kind of thing. Or, a little layer deeper. You feel like you're not, but to me, you are a supermodel. What? And you could explain.
You could explain on that line like all the cool things like your average, girl will do in a relationship. Like, and these are the things. This is why. I think you're a supermodel, because you're there for me when I'm feeling down about myself. Maybe you're there for the kids, or you don't have to mention kids if you don't want to be too old. But you know.
Yeah, you can talk about the inner qualities, but then also if you do that, you definitely want to talk about no, you sexy on the outside too. You want to balance that and just be like, you just got a great personality, honey. If you do that, like your inner qualities are sexy and attractive. I think it's smart to also go, no, don't get me wrong, you're hot. On the outside too. That way she doesn't, if you think about the listener taking it the wrong way and taking the wrong message, might be
assume they're going to take it the wrong way.
Exactly.
The worst way. Yeah.
Like, no, don't get me wrong, you're hot on the outside too.
You could do something like like think about the way that every guy who fantasizes about a supermodel, how would they feel being seen with that supermodel.
Right.
What does that fantasy look like? And you could describe like a supermodel fantasy, but then it's always attributed to your girl, or your wife, you know?
He traded the older model for the supermodel.
Yeah.
The story song. The midlife crisis wife.
The crisis wife?
Yeah, midlife crisis wife. Traded the older model, an older model with a supermodel, an older guy with a young girl. Man, this is challenging because I feel like those are the obvious ones, and this is a challenging title for me because I'm like, okay, what can I bring different to it? What can I bring that's not just the same thing? You feel supermodel, you feel like you're going to go one of those directions that I just pointed out.
And we just hit like 2 different angles at least, right?
Yeah, and she's hot, or she doesn't think she is, but I think she is, or you are. So what can we do besides that? And this is where it starts getting trickier. So yeah, you can do something funny like the older model with the supermodel, which is so kind of specific. Why do we care about hearing this about these other people? A supermodel, something about different models of, like I was doing with the older model. There's a model that's like a older model car. It's a I don't know if there's something to play off there but this is a supermodel. A model citizen, a model, like the standard or the perfect one, like the model citizen, right? The one you'd like to have. I don't know if there's some way to play off that supermodel.
What if how, like, let's just take a car for instance.
Yeah.
Okay? A lot of people say that the older cars were built to last, right?
Right.
So you could consider like those older cars like supermodels, as opposed to the supermodel doesn't have to mean young and beautiful. It can mean like steady, solid, always there, and you twist it up like that. Maybe you're talking about your grandma, maybe you're or you're talking about your wife. And this is what makes her a supermodel. I guess we're kind of back to that first thing again.
Yeah, it's challenging because there's so much that is brought to that supermodel that you think one thing, it'd be really hard to change the thinking on it, make it mean something really different. So I wonder if you got to go with, think Cindy Crawford or whoever, Giselle, but we have to twist it in a way that's going to be fresh. Supermodel, man, because you don't want to say I wouldn't leave you for a supermodel because you.
Well, how about maybe she's not a supermodel, but when they made her, they broke the mold, kind of a thing. But what if you played against supermodel? What if you're? How can you twist it like that?
Yeah, I was going to wonder about like the older model, supermodel, late model, supermodel. This is a tough one. I mean, it's easy to write if you just want to write one, but how do we really get something that's interesting going on here? Supermodel. I mean, you can play off super, not super, Right. So you can play off that stuff. Man, so you got that outer beauty. Man. When he sees her, he sees a supermodel. I mean, you could do the older couple thing, where, when Grandpa sees Grandma, he sees a supermodel. He sees her, her spirit and her who she is on the inside, kind of thing. He sees a supermodel. So that could be. Oh, yeah. Okay, so how about combining the two? So like, I always wanted to marry a supermodel, and you start sort of going down that whole checklist visually. Yeah. But then the whole time, the dude's singing about this, who's single, right? So it keeps it young, but he's talking about his grandma and the relationship that his grandma has with his grandpa, and that's the way he sees the supermodel because of the qualities that she has. She plays fair. She, she's a rock. She's a team player. She's understanding, compassionate. The best mom. Gonna be the best mom. Gonna be the best friend to you. The best friend a friend would want to have. I just stole that from friend would want to have. But what if you did? What if it's almost like a female empowerment thing? A guy could sing it or a girl could sing it, but kind of in my magazine that they would be the supermodels. That's a supermodel in my magazine. Like in my world, in my eyes, if I were to have kind of quote unquote metaphorical magazine or whatever, the perfect world, this is what would make a supermodel. And then you go those intrinsic qualities. The
women empowerment. No, go down that road.
Yeah, go there.
Go there because
chicks dig it. No,
that would be genius though, right? Well,
it's a little.
Like Kelly Clarkson singing Supermodel, right?
Yeah.
Because and so you're going to wonder.
Yeah, where's this going?
What's going on with that?
Yeah.
And then when she comes out and she's talking about like, here's the things that make a woman a supermodel.
Yeah, like a role model, right?
Yeah.
If you can play off the role model, supermodel thing.
Yeah, mentor.
That kind of thing, like the women that support each other and mentor young girls and charitable stuff.
Know your value, teach your value, teach your worth. Yeah.
Yeah. I think something like that could be cool.
That's interesting.
And if in my kind of magazine or whatever, that's a supermodel. Yeah, so playing off kind of the role model thing might be cool. There's something there that I think going deeper, because with that, it's such a kind of surface level title,
right,
that I want to do something unexpected with it and something deeper. Give you a reason to go with that one, because how many supermodel titles are there out there that's just like you're hot, or you don't think you're hot but you're hot?
Okay, how about this? What about this? Here's a weird way. So when I was 16 years old, I had like a mega crush on this girl, right? And she worked at the record store in like Geneva, Wisconsin. She was gorgeous. Like she was a model, like a supermodel.
Yeah.
Like I think she did some modeling,
Yeah.
Like she was that good looking. Tall, like 5'10", the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like everything I thought I wanted in a woman. For years. I would go and buy records that I had no business buying.
Yeah.
Just to kind of hang out with her.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, like the week before we went on our first tour, she just shows up and she's all over me like a cheap suit. She's loving me. And that turned into like a 3-year toxic relationship. And I learned everything that I wanted in a girl.
Wasn't
her.
Yeah.
Wasn't the supermodel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it could be like a perception thing. Like, this is what you think you want, but, not what you...
The kind of beauty is only skin deep, and it's got to have something more than just supermodel.
Yeah. And in terms of, like, doing that, like, I live that. That's a long time to shake off, man.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you can do... I think my favorite is trying to do the kind of the empowerment of, what really matters, and nothing wrong with physical beauty. You don't want. I think what's her face that did All About the Bass was really smart about that. Right. Talking about the skinny girls. I know you think you're fat, hey, but you're beautiful just the way you are.
About that bass,
yeah, you're beautiful just the way you are too. So she didn't hate on the skinny girls,
right?
Which is I think really smart, because you're becoming a friend. You're not hating on people.
Right.
You just celebrate what you are and your tribe without hating on another tribe. So, if you do it, you don't want to hate on people that are gorgeous physically.
No, but I mean, I think it was just if you focused on it more from the supermodel not being the skinny girl on the cover of the magazine,
not
but
just
being the
deep.
perception of a perfect woman, which isn't right?
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of supermodels that are a mess and they're gross, and there's plenty that are really great people. Yeah, and they're not crazy.
Right.
It just depends on the character of the person. But,
exactly.
But I think if you like you could twist it like that and be like, hey, sometimes it's not always the way it looks, right? Don't judge a book by the cover, maybe.
I mean, it could be, if you did you could do the Kelly Clarkson kind of thing, big anthem. You could do, which is basically the female trying, basically talking to the young girls, like, hey, here's who's in the real world, here's kind of who the supermodels are. You could do a country thing about the older guy getting the younger guy some advice when he's like ogling the checkout, counter, magazine rack or whatever, or to a girl, but going, hey, to a real man, this is what a supermodel is. Yeah. That'd be kind of cool. Or maybe you're talking to the younger girls and like, to a real man, this is what makes a supermodel. These kind of qualities.
See, that would be cool coming from a guy like that.
Yeah, like a Tim McGraw talking about
there you go.
To the girls out there, take it from a superstar, sexy guy kind of thing. But this is what this is what really.
Hey, you could be talking about faith, and that would be perfect, right? If
hopefully every guy can say they marry a supermodel, or something. But girl, that's kind of role model. That's the kind of person you want to be. That's what to the right guy. That's a supermodel. The kind of guy you want to be with.
I got
these
friends
qualities, these character traits, integrity and honesty and compassion or whatever.
Yeah, team player, like
that stuff.
Support.
Yeah, like to the kind of guy you want. That's a supermodel.
Right, not emasculating, not like, and they're really that way. Like, I got some friends on that tour. Like there's a couple moments where they've told me stories about stuff that goes wrong, like that'll happen on a tour. And Faith will be right there going, oh, this is what we're doing right here. And she gets his head back straight. He's like, yep. Like in a live performance, like through the ears, through the inners, where something's going drastically wrong, and she can tell he's getting pissed off.
Yeah.
And she's like, all these people paid a lot of money to come see you, honey. Now you go out and do your thing. And he's like, yep. And he does one of these, shakes his head a little bit, shakes it off, and he's like, she's right. And goes back to it. That's a supermodel, right? Like, that's great.
Yeah,
that's
so
great.
I think something like that could be cool. You can take it from a guy point of view, older guy, not even older, but just especially someone like Tim McGraw,
guy,
who's old enough to have a little bit of authority to say, and who's also cool enough, like you want to, so those young girls, or it could be a Keith Urban thing. Yep. Be like, hey, to a real man,
this could really be a Keith Urban song, right? Like he did
totally
female too.
He did female, so this is what makes it. This is what makes you look like a supermodel to a real man.
Yeah,
kind of thing. That could be cool.
Yeah, there you go. That. All right, guys, that brings us to the end of another song title challenge. Once again, send in your titles to info@daredevilproduction.com. Production is singular. There is no S. daredevilproduction.com. Put in the subject line song title challenge. It'll get into the right folder. This podcast exists because we want you to win. So keep on climbing.
And we'll see you at the top.
Good.
Song title challenge.